Although it's reasonable to say Plymouth was successful in both endeavors, the automaker also produced a track-eating monster and one of the most iconic vehicles of the time. It is universally acknowledged that the Superbird is an iconic muscle vehicle. In this article, we examine how the avian fighter came to be. Here is what makes the Plymouth Superbird a legendary muscle car. The Superbird was one of the first track cars to breach 200 miles per hour. As the first vehicle in NASCAR history to hit 200 miles per hour, the Dodge Daytona quickly became popular in the sport. The Plymouth Superbird did the same not too long after. During the 1970 season, both vehicles from Chrysler's factories left many NASCAR drivers in the dust and had a lot in common. The Superbird was driven by Richard Petty, and the Dodge Daytona was driven by Buddy Baker. With constant speed, the Winged Warriors reached 200 miles per hour. Bill Elliott now holds the competition record for fastest lap time at 212 miles per hour. Thus, even contemporary NASCAR cars haven't substantially surpassed this milestone. The Superbird's aerodynamic design was radical. Drawing inspiration from the Dodge Daytona, the Plymouth Superbird of 1970 won 33 of 48 races in the 1970 NASCAR season when driven by both vehicles. These successes were largely attributed to the Superbird's innovative and elegant aerodynamic design. The Superbird's tall back wing provided stability and downforce to keep it grounded, while its wedge-shaped nose, measuring 18 inches in length, helped it cut through the air. Although aerodynamics were not very novel in automotive design, Plymouth's concept was groundbreaking and served as a model for several other designs. This aerodynamic design was not only functional on the racetrack, but it also stood out from the crowd off the road. Thus, it's likely what's behind the model's increasing appreciation, which further contributes to its legendary position. The Superbird adopted a boldly different approach that paid off, in contrast to the majority of muscle cars from the 1960s and 1970s, which mostly had similar style elements. Its one-year production run was a hit. The 1970 model year was the final one the Superbird may have survived due to a combination of poor sales, new NASCAR rules, and shifting automotive industry. Following Richard Petty's successful 1970 NASCAR season, the racing organization introduced additional regulations to ensure everyone was safe and to provide an even playing field. Aerodynamic alterations and engine displacement reductions were restricted by these regulations. Consequently, Plymouth was forced to cease manufacture of the Superbird and NASCAR outlawed it. Despite having low sales during its manufacturing run, the 1970 Superbird was a huge hit in the states to the southeast. It's one of the most expensive vintage automobiles because of its limited edition, racing history, and collector quality. The Superbird's unique design features are hard to ignore. Openly outlandish and sure to turn heads, the Plymouth Superbird is. Some of the most recognizable muscle car design elements were present on the Superbird, from the aerodynamic nose cone to the large rear wing. There were 8 color possibilities for the Superbirds, and each had a unique vinyl roof color. With its appearance and Superbird decals that elevated the vehicle and added a beep-beep horn for good measure, the muscle car paid homage to its cartoon character roots. Pop-up headlights, slanted rear windows, and a customized exhaust system completed the classic car's appearance. More crucially, function was prioritized over form in the majority of the Superbird's features. The skyscraper-high rear wing was fully functional. One of the Superbird's most notable characteristics is its rear wing, which measures 24 inches long and 55.5 inches broad. While some gearheads think Plymouth purposefully created a wing this tall to aid in opening the trunk, others have questioned the practicality of the design. But the Plymouth's rear spoiler wasn't just for show. It was essential to the Superbird's success. Research conducted at Chrysler's wind tunnel revealed that for the Superbird to function, its wing had to be higher than the vehicle's roof. On NASCAR's superspeedways, the Superbird's downforce and stability were greatly increased by the addition of a rear wing, which prevented it from taking off. It contributed to the demise of the true muscle cars. Unquestionably, one of the most recognizable muscle cars ever made is the Plymouth Superbird. But it was a victim of its own success, and it was largely responsible for the extinction of its own kind. A 440 cubic inch Plymouth Superbird was the vehicle of choice in 1972, when the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) sought a vehicle for emissions testing. Following its investigation in which the Superbird competed in commercial aviation races, the EPA concluded that leaded gasoline presented a serious risk to public health. Although lead was an inexpensive option to increase octane, automobiles were no longer allowed to run on leaded fuel as a result of the EPA's findings. Ironically, The strong muscle cars of the 1970s were virtually eliminated when unleaded gasoline with lower octane levels and hence reduced horsepower was required for vehicles like the Superbird. Plymouth built less than 2,000 Superbirds. Superbirds for sale are as scarce as chicken teeth because of their low manufacturing quantities and high collector value. Between October and December 1969, 1,935 Superbirds were manufactured by Plymouth at Chrysler's Lynch Road Assembly Factory in Detroit, according to Dodge. Just 135 vehicles featured Hemi engines out of the whole number. Based on data from Classic, the average price of a Plymouth Superbird is $280,861, with the most expensive model having a Hemi engine selling for as much as $566,218. According to one assessor, the scarcity of Superbird Plymouths for sale has led to a rise in 1970 Superbird valuations. The Plymouth Superbird dominated the 1970 NASCAR season. The Plymouth Superbird and its corporate cousin, the Dodge Daytona, were created by Chrysler with the sole purpose of winning the NASCAR trophy. Given Ford's past season-long domination, this was a tough assignment. The Dodge Daytona set the stage for the eventual triumph of the Superbird. By making improvements to the model, Plymouth was able to win back the renowned racer Richard Petty, who had defected to Ford. An unstoppable 1970 NASCAR season for Plymouth was the result of having Richard Petty at the wheel and an aerodynamic Superbird. The vehicle utterly destroyed the opposition while winning an incredible 18 NASCAR races. Considering the range of the competition for that season, this is even more astounding. Superbirds came with only big block engines. 3 power plant options were offered for the 1970 Plymouth Superbird. A 4-barrel, 440 Super Commando V8 engine with 375 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque powered the base vehicle. A 440 Super Commando 6-barrel V8 engine with 490 pound-feet of torque and 390 horsepower was also an option. A 4-speed manual gearbox or 727 torque flight automatic transmission were the options available to owners of these engines. Nonetheless, the most desirable model was the large block 426 Hemi V8 equipped with the 2 Carter aluminum 4-barrel carburetors, producing a remarkable 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. This engine was a rare find for Superbirds, making it one of the most sought-after cars from Plymouth. The street versions of these automobiles could only achieve a little over 140 miles per hour, whereas the racing cars could hit up to 200 miles per hour with this engine. Television appearances have contributed to its pop culture icon status. The vehicle was too quick for NASCAR because of the Plymouth Superbird's relationship with Richard Petty, and its subsequent television appearance further enhanced the car's image. Hot Wheels released various die-cast versions of the Winged Warrior in the same year as it made an appearance in the 2006 movie Cars. In addition, it appeared in Gone in 60 Seconds and on series like The Mod Squad, ESPN's Ultimate NASCAR, and Jay Leno's Garage. What are your thoughts on Plymouth? Do you believe all the buzz is justified, or is it exaggerated? On the other hand, this car's accomplishments are quite remarkable. But let's have your thoughts in the comment section.